I've been sitting around contemplating going live on Friday because I'm gonna have a busy weekend. My daughter is going to the States next week and she's gonna be gone for, I think it's 2 weeks total. So I thought I'd do it Friday night and I thought I'd catch the sunset, but it's overcast. So I think we're just gonna mill about. No, Jack, not short time yet. You're gonna have to wait. And I just got the alert that I'm live. So, this snow is melting. I only have one little patch left on the garden. I see I left a pail there from last year. But I could get started on this soon to buy more wood chips, lay them down. I have railings that need to go up along the edge. And I need to burn some of this wood that's laying around everywhere. And hello to everyone that's coming in. I haven't seen any comments come up yet, but the title says, hi PSV and hi 5 Acre Farm and Jovita, hello. So I decided to go live tonight. And the thank you is that this is my first monetized live. I can't even remember the day that I hit it, but it's only been a couple days. Hi, Judge Webb. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for helping me get to that goal. Everyone was helping me out with my watch hours and yeah, I got there. So it's kind of awesome. And I didn't even think, like before it used to be, oh, I gotta stay live for at least 60 minutes. Thank you, Our New Land and Phil and Judge. From now on, from this time until the end of June, every minute, every hour that I get is all gravy. It's all gonna be past the 4K mark and be a cushion for my next the next 365 or rolling 365. But I'm also coming to check on my hay condition because Christine's still stuck in the bush. I talked to Troy yesterday because not only is he the smith, he is a farmer, and I asked him, what would you do with a tractor that's stuck in gear? You know, even though the sun's not poking out too much, that's still a pretty awesome view of the sky. So Troy suggested that I find somebody else to help me, that pulling the tractor might pop it out of gear. So that just tells me I'm either gonna have to hire somebody or I'm just gonna have to wait until my dad is available. Yeah, you know, I remember when my daughter, gosh, it's gotta be, if she's about 22 years old. Yes, Randy, you were telling me to pull it, but you didn't say to wait for somebody else. So, no, I didn't forget what you told me, Randy. But my daughter, it's gotta be at least a dozen years ago, there was an eclipse and it was, what would it be? The moon had to pass over the sun because it was during the day. And we sat on top of the bale. It was about in this spot. And so it happened in the evening time and we had the glasses we needed. Hi, Urban Gardening. And we sat here for hours watching it because you get quite the view from this area. And I know when I used to go walking before I had the dogs, I used to be able to see deer all the time too. But I don't think they come around as much as they used to. And all of this bush here is just between the barn and this horse pasture. Next time I'll do step by step. You know, I hesitate. I don't want to hook up my truck because what if I wreck my truck? My fancy new 2020. And you see, I still have snow on the pathway there. And I still haven't fixed the fence, but the horses haven't figured out that they could just walk out of their little area in the corner there. But I don't know if anyone was in the chat when I first started. I'm talking as if for people who are watching a post. I wanted to go live today because first off, I want to stop doing my Sunday live at noon. I guess during the winter, I wasn't really doing anything, and it was okay for me to go at that time. But now that summer is hitting, I want to leave my days open. Hi, Dark Lord. Randy, my dad lives 3 hours north of me. Where was I in my story? Oh, so I thought if I do go live Friday evening, and the sun will stay out longer and longer up until June, so I could go on a little bit later and try not to be on top of anybody else, although I know I am right now. That'll leave my weekends open because from now until I stop working at the end of June, I want to get as much work as I can done on the weekends because I've got a lot of work to do between all the fencing. I want to get ready so that I can bring the stud and mares back. Those are the only 2 days that I have where I can fully work. Monday to Friday, by the time I get home, it's 5 o'clock. I have right now 3 to 4 hours before it's dark, and I do find that I'm exhausted anyway, and I don't get much done. And I can see, I've already got, you can't see on the camera, I've got one dog in the hay pasture. Try pulling on gear shaft and bump starter. Randy, if I only knew the parts of my tractor. You need to draw me a diagram. Maybe we should go live together. But I guess I've never really walked up this way. Everything that you can see in the picture is mine, except for the trees that are in the very far distance. The close yellow grass is mine, and the neighbor's field would be the very far golden field. All right, I'm only going to see that phone number when chat is posted. I don't think I'm one of those channels where chat is posted immediately after the live, or at least it hasn't happened to me yet. So, are you driving right now, Randy, or are you just at a stop somewhere? Because I know I was in your live, but hi, John. Thank you for coming in. I can't remember last time I tuned in your part. But I know I was watching you every time I had a break today. And it might have even been your live where I came back to my phone and realized that you had ended it. I think it was. Stopped at Walmart. Hi, Selexia, if I'm pronouncing that right. Where are all the dogs? Well, now that the snow is melted and the dogs can easily run and I'm easily walking across the property, I only let 2 coonhounds out at a time and Bo, because Bo is not a dog that will take off easily, even though sometimes he goes across the road. I've got 3 dogs in front of me, but you can't see it because my camera's not that good. And then 2 are locked up in the kennel, and the rest are in the house with my daughter. And that's the way it's going to be until I have... Hi, thank you, 5 Acres, what I meant. And hi, John. Until I get my perimeter fencing up, which will not stop my dogs from leaving, I'm hoping it deters them enough. I'm just checking out footprints on the ground, but they're just my dog. There we go. There's one. If you stand still. There's Bo. Always happy-go-lucky. Now, Bo's a good dog. If I tell him to come back, he comes back. I actually wasn't counting correctly, and I let one too many dogs out at the when I got home today. And Bo was let out at the same time, and he started running down the road after the other dogs, and I just called him back, and he came. Hi, Queen Whitney. Thank you for coming in. So this is me walking up to the cottonwood tree that fell down from the other side. But yeah, the dogs are sure going crazy now because of all the scents they're picking up off the ground. Whatever the animals are that are crossing back and forth over the property. But I need to come collect some of this because this will be excellent campfire. And that's a whole other thing. I need to get I do have a John Deere tractor, but it's not a full-size tractor. It's just a little garden tractor. I need to get that going because pretty soon the grass is going to be growing and that'll be needing a cutting. I have a cart that I can pull behind it where I can load stuff up, which is sometimes easier to drive that tractor than the big one. But I know that needs a new battery. The tire is flat. It probably needs replacing just because I've been pumping it up for years and I think it's time to get a new one. Yeah, everything's gonna turn green. The ticks will be out soon. Oh, look at how he just vibrates in excitement sometimes. I don't know, he's the kind of dog that I think he's got nerve issues. But that's what's left of the snowdrift that I was tackling all winter on my walks. I got Cooter with me, and I'm pretty sure Cletus is the other one that's out with me right now. But I don't know, I thought I would catch the nice sunset, but I think it's just gonna be gray, so I may just head down into the ravine. Animals that what? Cover, do you mean cower? I don't know what you mean by cover. So this is a garden tractor, John. Are tires that expensive? It would be the little front one. Because I know it's one of those tubeless tire. Cover their pee and boot. Did he do that? I wasn't paying attention. I wouldn't say Bo is like the younger dogs respect him, but I don't think he's the pack leader because, yes, Phil, I'm gonna have snow for a couple weeks yet. Jessie, the mom of all the dogs, I'm pretty sure she's the pack leader. And maybe Cletus because he's the fattest one. He gets the first serving of food. And the other dogs really don't get to the food until he's done. But, okay, I'm gonna walk slowly because I don't want to tumble. I don't know if you guys can tell how steep this is. But this tree was a tiny little twig when I moved here. Nice big oak tree. Well, it's gonna be. It's bigger now. But most of the oak trees I have, they're so thick that they're not gonna grow into big mature trees. But man, the difference between where I was this winter and now, the ease of walking through all of this, even though it doesn't look like anything right now. I'm just going slow because of the steepness. But I don't know, I guess I have it on record of how strenuous my walks were, and you guys could tell from my panting. This is level. I don't know. It's hard to show you guys how steep this is. I know I went on Google Maps, not Google Maps, Google Earth. Shows you the elevation. It's going to be 17 years in. Hi, Peter. Oh, is it ever, Peter, as soon as it's above 0, it's nice for a walk. I have a hoodie on right now, and that's all, and it's good enough. My son is going to be 27 in September, and we moved here on October 1st of that year that he turned 10, and that's how I know how long I've been. So it'll be 17 years. And I can't say that I've done a lot for building up this place. But when I look around, it's crazy that I don't know where these trees came from. Because I remember my son's project was goats, and we had a goat, and I didn't have these many dogs back then. The dogs had chased the goat down into the ravine, and I remember driving down this hill that is behind those trees, and you could drive a truck clear through here. And I'm gonna walk right through here. You can't drive a vehicle here anymore. And I give up on that idea of ever driving through here again. But I would like to keep this path. And you know what? I should have been here a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Because all this grass you can see looks like it's been combed. All the melt ran through here. It would have looked like a river. And there's a little, I don't know what you would call it here. But you can see the grass has been caught up in the little trees. It must have been a good flow for a day or so. Because I've seen it in past years. Oh, look at this. So whoever had garbage from wherever the water came, I had a Lunchable once. Because I don't buy Lunchables, and this is not my litter. But I will take that with me. And I don't know if this is a mini sinkhole, but it sure looks like it. Hi, Des. So that's where all the water goes through when it melts. And what I'm walking on right now, I'm pretty sure the deer uses the highway. And just to think too, that pine tree wasn't here. It just looks so different now that there's not 2 feet of snow everywhere. But yeah, just oak trees everywhere up here. And between me making noise and the dogs, if there was anything in the bush right now, it's going to be gone by the time we get to it. This is how I, up through these trees somewhere, I cut down on my first vlog. I would have just picked a center spot, cut right through the trees and came down. And I probably edited out. I had so much content for that first video. And I was a spaz too. I didn't know what to include and what not to. But I was coming down on a deer trail. And at the bottom of it, it looked like the deer were actually sleeping where I crossed. Hi, Justin. I noticed you were live too. Is Friday your regular live time? Like, I think I've counted at least 10 people that I know pretty well. How are my horses? I just walked past them at the beginning. The ones that are here are doing good. And I showed in a past video, one of my mares had a colt, and I haven't talked to my parents yet. Hi, Chuck. If the other mares have had a colt yet. I know my pony was getting pretty close. She was pretty big. It's almost like their bellies square out when they're ready to drop. I was actually up at midnight watching somebody else's mare give birth. They caught her at the right time and did a live. So it was pretty cool to watch that. I used to, because they were in such a closed area when the horses were here, I used to be able to catch them when they were dropping their foals. I had to help my pony with her second foal ever. It was taking a long time for her to push it out. And I thought I'd just watch her from the edge of the field. And then I started to worry. So I walked up to her, and she's not a horse you could just walk up to and put a halter on. But that day she did not move. And I just helped her barehanded. I just took hold of the ankles, hooves, and pulled it enough so that the head came out, and then she got the rest going. But it was a pretty good size colt for her second one. But yeah, they've been having foals for quite a while now. Hi, Trumpet. So, I don't know, did you guys see when this ravine was full of snow? Everything was white. Well, this is what it looks like before it greens up. And then when it does green up, you won't even recognize it. It was so easy to see footprints before. Now I can't tell anything. Looks like deer. And that's just a wild guess. It doesn't look like rabbit to me. But yeah, okay, I didn't finish my story from before. I do tend to ramble a lot like that. I was on Google Earth. And so before I came down in this ravine, pretty much the horse pasture or where the house is located would be my highest point on the property. And where this ravine ends would be the lowest part. Because if I go all the way to the very edge of my property, which I can't, because it gets boggy, the difference between that point on Google Earth and my house is 80 feet. So I definitely have varied terrain. Even the hayfield isn't flat. It's got some gentle rolling hills. But my daughter and I drive to work because we work basically in the same area for half of the week. And I was getting her to Google information because we have a good water source here. Yeah, John, don't eat the black pellets. Okay, I'm gonna stop and say, can you imagine driving a truck through here? Obviously, these trees grew up and bent over because they weren't like this before. And this was not thick like this. These trees weren't even here. This was just wide open before. And now just the dog fits. So I do want to come in and trim all this up. I can see that one's a maple right there. I'll cut it down and it's going to grow right back up. But I would like to trim this enough so that I could come riding through here without the horse brushing on twigs. Like I don't need these bushes leaning over like this. But basically, I'll just make the deer path wider So, because my dogs didn't create this path has been created by deer, and obviously the dogs keep up. Well, whatever it is that they found, I just hope it's not a porcupine. Seems more like a squirrel, though. If it was a bigger animal, their bark would have been more intense. But yeah, it's so much nicer to just stroll through here and not feel like I'm having a heart attack. Hi, Jerry. Oh, you know what, John? When I first moved here, I actually trapped and took care of a huge skunk. Because my dogs were always getting into them. And of course, I didn't have all the coon hounds, but I did have Bo. And Bo loves getting mixed up with skunks. And I think I took care of about 3 of them out here. And when you look at the side of the ravine, there used to be, hi Paul, big holes. And so that's probably where they were living. I don't know that they're here anymore. I do know that Bo gets mixed up with a skunk once in a while. I'm just looking at this tree. Looks like it's a birch tree. And I never ever noticed that. Unless it's just a funny poplar. No, it's a funny poplar. I don't know why the bark looks like that. I thought maybe it was the birch peeling, but just a poplar. But yeah, I never walk through here. I could be climbing that side of the hill too. And it's so hard for you to see what I'm seeing. But so all that melt would come flowing down here. And on years when we had tons, this area would look like a little lake. But oh, there's so much work I have here. The way it's open here is the way it used to be. Do I see any, what is that symbol there? I don't know what that was. You have to type the word out because I don't know what that symbol is. That's not a bird, is it? Birds, I can hear them. The other day when I came home, right at our gate, there were robins. So that was the first robin I saw. And they always say, whenever you see your first robin, you know spring is there or has arrived. There's more deer scat, if I'm using scat the right way. I've seen the magpies, of course the crows, they're crows, aren't they? And they've always been around. I hear them, I don't see them. The other birds. So I don't know what they are, but I have some songbirds. And this tree, I think one day I am going to come out here with a huge jug of water and make a campfire. Dark Lord, I'm just reading your comment there about your lawn growing well. And then again, now is the time to make little fires because I still have snow around, which means the ground is going to still be good and wet, which means on a day that's not windy, my fire's not going to take off on me. And that way I can take care of this tree. But yeah, this whole area could get water. I should have came out last week. Especially with that last dumping of snow. I think they're just making up that scent. They're wishing they smell something. You know Bo is having fun when he's yipping away. There's got to be quite a few deer out here when we aren't around. Yep, used to drive through here. I just can't believe how thick it is. And these trees have those thorns on them too. It'd be good to, well, it's not a tree, it's kind of some kind of shrub. Hi, Brunfree. All the way from Australia. Well, thank you for coming in. It's officially my first live since I reached monetization. And I tell you, I made a whole 23 cents so far, and it's the best 23 cents I've ever made. I don't know why, but it feels just as rewarding as getting your paycheck. So, but I can say, out of the 2 years that I've been doing this, the most important thing is being consistent. And so I didn't want to go another week without doing a live. Like I said, I'm going to be doing spring cleaning and catch up on all the work I'm behind on this weekend. So that's why I wanted to go live on Friday. And I got a nice little crowd in here. Look at how big. Cletus is my biggest dog. He's like overweight. He shouldn't have that dip in his back. Oh, look at Cooter's just going nuts. I wish I could climb up that hill as fast as he. You know, I should have had a camera set up on the other side of the bush as we walked through the ravine, because the deer were probably a couple 100 feet ahead of us and we pushed them all out. And that's probably why they're going nuts. Jerry, yes, they're hunting dogs. I don't hunt them. I kind of use them as, it's my protection, right? I've got nothing on me other than if I came across something, the dogs would be taking care of it and I'd be running back to the house. So, okay, thank you for coming in, Justin. They're coming back already. Always having fun. Hi, Brett and Deborah. Just pausing here to see if he's going to take off again. Yeah. Victoria, I love SA. The trees in Allied Hills must be looking amazing. Victoria, what is SA? So I was going to head up the hill, but this is another area. I used to be able to drive my truck through there too, but we're pretty much at the back of the property. Past this huge tree is the bog area. And then there's a fence in that because the neighbor on the other side of this, Jerry, I have 80. On the other side of this boggy area is the neighbor's property, and he keeps cows on it. So he has it all fenced off in there, although I don't know how good the fence is because it's in a bog area. That was a message for... Oh, okay. And I tried walking in there once upon a time, and my boots sunk within an inch of the water going down the boot. So I gave up and turned around. Hi, Bland's Promise. And Jason, your mail is on its way. I finally got all of that done too. I was a little bit slow on that. I think from the first time I had the horse races, it's been a month. Oh, and I can hear him. Oh, well, I guess there's still snow in there. So it was a month, but I ordered more. Hi, Mike and Terry. I ordered more stickers so that I was able to write out everybody who won. No, Jerry, no cameras. I don't know. I've had snowmobilers come on my land. I don't know who else would be coming on this land. I did go hunting one year, and a hunter pretended that he wasn't aware of where he was. And I just told him he needed to turn around. And so I don't know if anybody else has ever crossed my property. But everywhere that I am right now, because there's good grass here, I want to get this all fenced off so that my horses could graze this. This could be an area for my stud and mares. But I first have to get it surveyed so I know exactly where the edge of my property is. Because it's somewhere here. But because this is the edge of the property, and I know that, like, I can see there's cattails that grow in here. It's a boggy area. And I have a little section before the fence line. I would love for one day to hire a cat or whatever needs to come in here and to make a dugout. Like, I'm gonna be losing daylight here soon. Don't know how dark. I'm not gonna walk into this, but I'm gonna walk into the edge of it. So I know that, oh my goodness, I would love to get closer because I see pussy willows. I didn't know that I would have any on the property. And that's been a tradition for us. Well, Jerry, I'm wondering if it's a tradition for you. Palm Sunday, instead of getting palms, because we don't have palms, we get, we take down pussy willows and we bring them back to the house. I don't know if that's Mike or Terry, but if you can see through the willows and all of the twigs, that is still snow in there. So this boggy area here runs to the neighbors, and I know the neighbors have taken me past the back of their house, and they have springs coming out of this low area. The fact that there's cattails in here, if a bulldozer were to come and dig a pond right here, I could have an area where the horses could drink and I wouldn't have to haul them water. Yes, Terry, I do have patches of snow left. It's pretty much gone. It is much easier to walk. So that's why I'm out. But yeah, that's the plan. So now to climb up this big hill and get back into the yard before it's really dark. Spring comes what? I don't know what that means. Hi, Neil. So you might hear some huffing and puffing as I go up this hill because I can't run up it like the dogs. And look at old Cletus. He's just moseying on up. But yeah, I can hear myself panting already. I'm gonna blame it on, I think I got allergies or nasal issues out. Oh, you're making fun of the way I'm talking. And there's Cooter, still enjoying himself. Bo. I use Bo as an excuse to pause. Bo! Sorry if I'm yelling in your ear. I can hear him. in the swampy area. All right, I gotta walk to the top of this hill and then I'll take a breath up there and wait for Bo. Love the color of the sky. Maybe that'll be a thumbnail. Cletus's butt. I'll have to come out here when it is greened up and show you guys there's some kind of wild grass that grows and it's got a purple hue to it. It looks so awesome. I was thinking I should dig it up and bring some to the house as ornamental grass. Whew. Oh, I hear him now. So can you guys see where I climbed up? Whew. So he's way down in the bog area somewhere. And you can see the snow on the neighbors' hills. But yeah, this is all I don't know, old ravine area. Whew, out of breath. I think I was talking about this. I was talking about my daughter Googling things. Hi, Chris. Thank you for coming in. This whole area used to be, the theory is, Lake Agassiz. I think that's how you say it. It's spelled A-G-A-S-S-I-Z. So if you ever look that up, they would show you Manitoba and they would show you this huge lake. Which, if it's true, would make sense because if you were to look at a lake bottom and all the sand that is there, that's exactly what my land is. It's just one big sand dune. So where it's light yellow at the top corner there, that's my neighbors already. So if I point this way, here, I'll only put my property in the picture. Those pine trees in the distance are mine. The clump in the center of the picture is, like on the other side of that is my house and the barn is in there. And Bo's not coming back. I don't know if he found a muskrat or what. Hey, Jen. I'm on YouTube Live. Is there a way to mute? Because I want to yell at Bo to come. Do you pay property taxes in CA? The taxes that I pay per year here are $600 for the 80 acres. So yeah, I do, but I don't know where else you could get them that cheap. Because I don't even think it's cheap like that where my dad lives. And he's north of me. Okay, excuse me, I gotta yell at Bo. Bo! Bo! I can't whistle. Oh well. Obviously he's got something there. Cletus is too fat and lazy to go check it out. He's probably found something that is dwelling in that water. We paid $200 for almost 4 acres. Yeah, that's not cheap. That's $50 an acre. If I were to pay $50 an acre, what would I be paying? What's 50 times 8? somebody do the math. I can't think right now. 5 times 8? Somebody do the math. Look at it. And he's here, but he's soaking wet. That would be $4,000, would it not? Did I do my math right? I ain't paying no $4,000 tax money. For what? I have to pay for the snowplow to come down my road. And the only reason I didn't pay for it this year is because he busted my fence the year before. So they told me to give him a cost for repair. I didn't repair it. And then his boss called me up and said, hey, you never gave us a cost. I said, hey, you never charged me for the clearing last year. And I said, why don't we just call it even? And he said, okay, I'm good with that. And we'll give you another year of free snow clearance. There's got to be some good water there, excuse the urinating, but he is soaking wet. But he's a clean soaking wet, so that must be water and snow, because usually they could go back there and they'll come out just completely covered in mud. Oh, look at him. Oh, you're just super excited. Hi, Zaxon. Bo's all happy springs here. I'm happy that I don't have to, except for that hill, I'm not huffing and puffing anymore. Terry, look it. There's all your snow. I still have snow, but it's just along the edges of the bushes. What am I at here? 47. Well, if I go, 13 more minutes? Maybe I'll make it back to the horses. I can see Jack standing on the hill. Well, it's not a hill, but a little bit of a sand hill. Anyway, I can see him. It's too bad that when I say, oh, look in the distance, you guys can't see what I'm looking at because the camera doesn't show in detail. A boat just keeps rolling in the grass. Except for when I try to film him. Every time I try to film him, he marks his spot. So, what's your opinion, you guys? What do you think about evening walks? I'm liking the idea because it'll open my whole day up. Even if I'm watching other people's lives, like MT, I can still be doing work while I'm watching. And look at how laid out all this grass is, and that would just be from the snow. How flat it is. And all of this could be eaten down by the horses. It's just wasted. I've never fenced any of this off. Just cut back to a place where it's a little bit better. And it's funny too, the camera is keeping more light. When I look at my camera or phone, the image looks brighter than how it is dark outside. I go about 100 yards from the house and couldn't pipe service. Oh, you know what? I can point it out. I pointed it out before. And there's the path going from one side of my house, and it loops around to where that snow is. It's doing better. Are you talking about my service? I'm gonna walk back up to the cottonwood tree and I'll cut across to the horses there. I'll show you guys why my service is so good. And I didn't even turn my Wi-Fi off, so I don't know if I cut out in the beginning or not. Maybe I was far enough away from the house that it automatically went to my phone service. I'm not far from civilization. And so this is why, as someone who's just gonna get older, like we all are, it's a good location for me because I'm not stuck out way far away in the bush somewhere. I have a lot of property that is, I don't know, it's not secluded, but it's exactly what I wanted. I wanted horses, right? I've got a hay field. I've got good neighbors. I don't know if the phone is gonna pick this up. You guys probably can hear the traffic though. Can you guys look in the center of the image there? Look to the trees, and there should be a line. I'm pretty sure that is the tower for my cell service. If I look this way, there's another tower that does not belong to my service. And somewhere past these trees is a third tower, but that's where my Wi-Fi comes from. Yeah, so I've got towers all around me. I've talked about it in the past. I think the reason nobody wanted to buy this place when it was for sale, well, first off, there was a trailer, and people have a stigma about trailers that it's not a real house, but I didn't care. It had more acreage than someone like me could ever buy, because usually you have to have a farming plan to get that much acreage. And so I do have, like, I can hear the traffic. When the trees green up, it gets a little bit less. Going across my property, because coming from the north is the natural gas line. So maybe 100 feet, maybe a little bit more, maybe 150 feet from the house, underneath the ground is a gas line. And the guy that owned this place before agreed to it because he said, if you're gonna do that, I'll agree to it as long as you hook up my house to gas. And the first thing that I did when I moved on here, I told him take it out because I was not gonna deal with a gas furnace. And I put in electric. I just didn't want to deal with carbon monoxide or whatever, and people will argue with me and say, oh, it's safe, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. I'm just not a person that would have a gas furnace. I'll put diesel fuel and gas in my vehicles. I will not heat my house with it. And then another thing they did in, I don't know, it's been a couple of years, right across this horse pasture, underneath the ground, the phone service put a new line in to upgrade the service to the town that I don't live too far from. So, wish I could get gas for our stove. Yeah, I guess if you had, hi Kent. Kent, is your address on your page? I don't know if I've asked you that before, because you did win a sticker from me, and I haven't mailed that out yet. I have 6 addresses. I ran out of cards. I had to go buy more cards. So I've got those now. And then there's a whole bunch of people that I don't know if they didn't realize that they won. Yes, I would love to have a wood stove. I grew up with one. I'm much more comfortable burning wood. and dealing with anything that happens there. And I guess maybe it's just experience, right? Because if I was experienced with gas, then I would say, hey, it's no problem, it's safe. I just didn't grow up with it. Jack, what are you doing? This hay is so old and he's here munching on it. You just like the old stuff. That's probably why he's got breathing problems. Old and moldy. Okay, thank you, Kent. But yeah, I took off to go do my live, and my daughter was just going to start supper, so perfect timing. By the time I walk up to the other horses, I'll have hit an hour. I pretty much lost all daylight. And I gotta say thank you for everyone who's come in, because you have helped me get to my goal. And make a nice little short there. That's perfect weather, Kent. That's probably what it is here right now. I know Monday's gonna dip to -1, but I mean, without the snow, that weather it's just nice for us. Yeah, coming to greet me, more like, where's my oats? But we bought, I don't know, you call them nachos, tacos. They're not tacos like the folded ones. The chips. We fry up hamburger with taco seasoning, and then in a pan, hi Jonesy, we put a layer of those chips. We put shredded cheese on top, and then the meat, and then we melt it in the oven. And then when it comes out, lots of sour cream, and that's our supper. It's like one of our favorite things to make. No bread involved, so I gotta find things I can eat that doesn't involve bread. And these guys are gonna follow me all the way up because they think I got cookies. Actually, you know what the first thing? Rain was sniffing this because it was in my hand. Bye, Terry. Thanks for coming in. I'm just going off of what John is saying. I'm assuming that she's going. And there, I don't know if you can see Ty. I sure do love this gimbal though, because for all the shakiness I have when I watch back on the videos, it takes it all away. You guys would be bouncing up and down right now. And I can smell, somebody has a campfire going tonight because I can smell the smoke in the air. I think everyone's eager to start doing things outdoors. Hi, Rem. Yes, I know, I saw that you were live. I was explaining how I want to go today because I'm gonna have a busy weekend. And I just wanted to come on my live and say thank you to everyone, especially you two. You were helping me out because I reached my goal and I'm monetized now. So, but I think everyone was just sick of all the snow. And now that it's gone, we can get outside and do things. Thank you very much, John. They still always sniff the gimbal. So yeah, Rem, I was saying I made my first quarter and it felt awesome. Oh, how did he make it brighter? He got closer to the camera and it got brighter all of a sudden. But, well, 2 seconds, there we go. I hit the 60-minute mark. So I am gonna go in and enjoy that supper that my daughter made. Thank you everybody who's come in because you were a part in getting me to my goal. And I'll probably be making some videos of what I'm doing this weekend. But we'll probably see cross paths in somebody else's live soon. But until then, thank you very much. And that's it. Give her diesel.